Just giving people a few more minutes to come in the room. I know people are transitioning from work and from school and from other points in between. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to get in the room, and I will be starting. I'll be starting the show periodically. Okay, so you guys hold on to your hat. Uh, we're getting it popping. Let's give folks a chance to get in the room, and we'll go from there. Can you dig it? All right, let's get it popping. Let's get everything set up here. While you guys are making your way into the room, I'm gonna take care of a couple of things, and then we're gonna go ahead and start. So, if you want to grab your libation, grab your cigar, grab your grab you a shot of yak, whatever it is, or get your glass of wine, or if you want to puff on something, don't let the Iceman stop you. I want to enable you, not stop you. Can you dig it? So let's give it a couple of minutes, and then we'll be going on the air in a couple. All right. Let's give folks a chance to come in the room. All right. Be back in a second. What up, Last Crucible? You emailed me. I'm checking my email right now. Maybe it's gonna take a minute to get here. Um, I haven't received it yet. But Yahoo sometimes there's an issue. So days ago. Let me. Oh, you mean emailing me your new email addresses? Yeah, I got those emails. Yeah, I went ahead and updated your profile on there. Yeah. And anybody else, if you want to get on my email mailing list, please shoot me your email address at THA the Iceman Show at yahoo.com. Okay. All right, let me invite some folks in. Let's see. Let's get it popping. Okay. Let me open some windows here because I want to make sure I'm getting this. I got everything set up. Let me go ahead and get everything set up real quick before we start. All right, let's get going here. Give me 1 second. All right, let's get it cracking. You're tuned in to the Iceman Show podcast. I'm your host, the Iceman. More bounce to the ounce, and I say what counts. Don't nobody go home till the fat man gets it in. What's happening, chocolate people? Hope you are having a lovely day. I know it is sunny today. I know where I am is sunny. God has blessed us with sunshine here on the West Coast. Those of you who live in the Southeast, I know you're burning up. Make sure you keep that wet towel, that wet towel near you so you can keep yourself cool. Make sure you hydrate yourself. I got my Gatorade and I got my water right here. Got my gallon of water. I drink a gallon a day. So, plus I've been hustling for the past 4 or 5 days anyway, trying to clear out this apartment. So you probably see how empty this mug is. I only got a few things I got to get out of here. Unfortunately, I accumulated a lot more stuff than I thought. So what ended up happening, I ended up, I could have paid somebody to move me, but man, I ain't paying nobody no $3,500 to move me, man. I mean, not 3,500, but what did this guy quote me? I think one guy quoted me $1,200 or something like that. I said, dude, you're not going that far. And the I only got like a 2-bedroom house full of stuff. It ain't that. I said, man, it really ain't that much stuff. I ain't got a whole bunch of love seats and all kind of stuff like that. Plus, every time I move, I throw some stuff away anyway, because some of that stuff breaks or whatever. I mean, even when I've had people move me in the past, they break stuff, they steal, and then they overcharge you. I remember I paid this moving company $200 to move a couch, not even 600 feet down the road. I was like, it was like, man, that's our flat fee. $200 to move a couch? I should have had them move part of my apartment, but I didn't because I had already moved everything down there. I didn't have that much stuff. And back then I had a truck, so I just loaded up. I just made a whole bunch of trips. But I was talking to this dude at over here where I was at not too long ago, and he was like, "Man, go get you one of these little raggedy little trucks. Once you get settled, get you one of these little raggedy trucks." I said, "Man, I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna have to go get me one of these little raggedy trucks. So if I need to move something, at least nothing or pick something up, I could just do it myself instead of paying somebody else to do it." I mean, these moving people, man. I mean, I respect your hustle, but man, look here, man. I ain't giving nobody no $1,500 to move me down the road. That's not gonna happen. So, but anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about why, how, and why Roe v. Wade was passed. See, I had no idea about any of this stuff until very recent history. And now that I'm abreast of it, I'm going to pass along this information to you. If you want to donate to support the show, please. Today we're doing $5 donations. Every donation is 100% tax deductible. You can donate via the Cash App. My Cash App ID is $ the Iceman 1906. Or you can donate at the website at asktheiceman.com. Scroll down to the donate button and you can donate there. Lady, let me just put this information out here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you send me a Cash App request asking for money and I don't know you, I'm not going to send you any money. However, if you're having a hard time and you need a quick $20 or $30, $40, $50, email me first. Let me know what's going on. Guys, look, I come from a generation where we asked for, if you wanted something, you asked for it. Even if it was outlandish, you asked for it. I don't know what's wrong with people today. They just be like, man, just give me some money. I'm like, dog, you don't know how to talk to nobody, man. You don't know how to ask. What do you need money for? I don't know you, player. It'd be one thing if I knew you. See, if you were somebody that I've known over the years and you needed that kind of help, that's one thing. But I'm still going to do some investigating. But I'm willing. I don't have a problem with shooting you a couple of dollars, bro. If you or sister, if you need some help and whatnot, email me. Let's talk. Because if you're not willing to explain to me what's going on in your life, then you're trying to yank my chain. You don't have a crisis. You're just trying to see if I'm stupid enough to send you some money. And I consider myself to be intelligent. I'm not stupid. So if you send a request to me on Cash App and I don't know you and you haven't emailed me, even if you do know me, then I'm sorry, I can't help you. And if you really need that kind of help, then you will do what you need to do so that I feel comfortable sending you money. I'm here to help everybody. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you fell off. I fell off. I've had homelessness issues for almost 4 years. So you ain't talking to nobody that ain't had a hard time, because I have. And some people did help me. Not very many, but some people did. My cousin up in Minnesota helped me out. And I thank him and love him for that. My dad has sent me money. And I appreciate my dad sending me some money to help me out. Because it seemed like every time he did send me money, I was hurting to the point where I was starving and I could see my ribs. And I didn't have no money for food, and I was getting ready to start stealing. And I didn't want to resort to that. You digs? So I know, hey, we living in a Trump economy. I don't have a problem helping you out, brother or sister, but let's be respectful. Let's be respectful. I'll help you out. I ain't got no problem. That's what my nonprofit, that's what we do. We look out for our people. That's what we do. Yeah, I look out for veterans too. But that's part of my mission statement and my vision statement is to look out for veterans, but also people who are less fortunate. Even if you got a job and you've run into some hard times, doesn't mean you still don't need any help. You need help. And if you holler and you get at me correctly, I'll help you out. I remember a long time ago, somebody needed some help with their rent back in the day. And I was like, hey man, I'll go by the office and pay your rent. I'll take care of it. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. Hey, that's what a nonprofit is here. That's what a nonprofit is here to do. Help the community. So please, I'll help you out, but you got to email me, man. Email me at theiceman@yahoo.com first. And then we can talk. Exactly, B the Great B. What up, B the Great B? Hey, Last Crucible, I'll holler at you offline. I'll holler at you offline, brother. Hope everything's going good with you, man. I hope you. Hey, Last Crucible, are you still running? You still jog, man? I know you said you used to get your run on back in the day. I used to be out there with you, brother, but hey, I'm old. I'm an old man now, so I had a doctor tell me I got the needs of an 85-year-old man. So hopefully, if I lose another 30, 40 pounds, maybe I get out there and run. I saw Magic Johnson trying to run a few years back on TV. Man, he looked like he was walking fast. I'm like, man, you might as well just fast walk instead of sit up there trying to run. I said, Magic Johnson up there trying to run. I said, man, it was kind of funny. It was actually kind of funny. But I love Magic Johnson. I love that brother's energy. Anyway, what we're talking about today is the racism behind the Roe v. Wade situation. And I didn't know about some of this stuff. I didn't know about the Roe v. Wade decision other than what it was about. Women getting the right to take to have an abortion in all 50 states. All 50 states, by mandate of that case, had to provide abortion clinics or provide those services inpatient at an inpatient facility like a hospital in case it was life-threatening. That's why they don't suggest you do, you like they did back when I was a kid. Back when I was a kid, the women used to just take a hanger and stick it up there. And some of these women died from hemorrhaging. You can't stick a hanger up in you and pull a baby out. But these women were so desperate. See, back then in the 50s, 60s, 70s, if you got pregnant, you just went ahead and had that baby. And that's why I said women were too afraid before birth control and Roe v. Wade. Women were too afraid. Most women were too afraid to go out here and be sexually promiscuous like they are today. They were too scared to do that back then. So if your wife was keeping time with another dude and she got pregnant by that dude, it was clear that that baby wasn't yours and you dealt with it, usually with your size 12 steel toe boots. But since, they putting cats in jail for handling their business, you just gonna have to leave. That's the best remedy, is just to leave, because that woman clearly has no respect for you, which is why she's having a baby by somebody else. So back then, women were less likely. I'm not saying that the seed wasn't already planted in their mind and in their heart to be deceitful. I'm not saying that was the case, because somebody fearing to not do something, if somebody's fearful of the consequences of doing something, then is it just fear driving you not to do perform that particular act? Or is it that you're not willing to do it because that's just not the right thing to do? See, back in when I was a kid, there was a very thick line between right and wrong. Today, the lines are blurred. Well, it's kind of right today, but tomorrow could be kind of wrong. There's no line in the sand. People want to waffle. See, waffling is very, very important in a society that's based based on and in systemic racism. Okay? So it's easy to take the position that you can straddle the fence. You can straddle the fence, and if the people over here on the right side of the fence are talking about this is bad, then you lean over on that side and say, yeah, that's bad. Yeah, you shouldn't do that. But then tomorrow, when you're straddling the fence, if these people over here on the left are saying, well, that's bad, even though you were just over there yesterday. Oh, that's bad. You shouldn't do that. That's bad. Bad dog. You see how that looks? See, women, you see, look, and look, ladies, don't take this the wrong way. It's just your nature. Women by nature are wafflers. Women by nature will straddle the fence on things. That's why you can't really have a sustained, substantive conversation with women that are objective. That's why they turn emotional, and then now you're emotional. You understand what I'm saying? You by nature ain't emotional, but the circumstances with you dealing with this woman may cause you to get emotional because she's trying to push your buttons, which is what a lot of women like to do. No disrespect to the ladies, but sometimes, ladies, y'all like to go there. Putting your finger in people's faces. Ain't no real man gonna stand there too long with you. He ain't gonna put up with that too long. He ain't gonna let you put your finger in his face too long before something happens. And like I said, I'm not one to condone violence, but sometimes, like Eddie Murphy said in Raw, in Delirious, ladies, sometimes you bring stuff on yourself. Okay? Hey, ladies, sometimes y'all bring stuff on yourself. King Capo, what's up, homie? I ain't seen you in a minute. Oh, for sure. All right. Yeah, brothers, get it. Keep that fitness up, man. Cause man, when I see cats out there, my age out there, like I could ride my bike. But like I said, man, let me tell you about riding a bike. Riding a bike is some great cardio, just like running is. The thing I hate about riding a bike is you have to do some planning before you do it, depending on where you live. Now, when I lived in Georgia, I used to have a walk, a trail, a paved trail that was 100 something miles long. It goes all the way to Alabama. I mean, I've gotten on that thing and ridden 40 miles one way, 40 miles back, and I was exhausted. But back then, I was cut. I was way better. My weight was down. I kept my weight under 200 pounds easily. Because just doing 30 minutes or 40 minutes on a treadmill or that machine that you do that on ain't enough. It's not enough. Not when you get my age. It's not enough. I talked to my dad the other day. I was like, I forgot to ask. I said, hey man, you get, you need to find you some folks, some seniors your age, and get out and start doing stuff, man. Instead of just walking, just doing stuff the same thing every day. You got to change it up. My dad is everybody's a creature of habit. But one thing about my dad, from his generation, man, they don't do nothing different. Like you will never see my dad drive a foreign car. He will never buy a new foreign car. He always buys Chevys or he buys Fords. One or the other. You ain't gonna never see him buy a foreign job. You ain't gonna see him with a Honda Accord. Now his wife, before she got sick, she was driving a Maxima, some Nissan Maxima, but that was her car. That's a car she bought. But his car was some type of GM type of minivan type thing. So Roe v. Wade, for those of you who are too young to know why the Roe v. Wade case is so important. The Roe v. Wade case is very important. And it's important because the case was a total, it wasn't a smoke screen, like some would probably say, based on the basis for why that case popped off in the first place. Some would say it was smoke and mirrors. And to really be honest with you, to take inventory, all of it is that. It's a smoke screen and it's smoke and mirrors. But the heading that this case totally falls under is that of lies, untruths, and lies. That explains this case to the nth degree. It's a total fabricated lie. Okay? And I'm going to talk about the who, what, why, and how. And so going forward now, you're going to have that information and you can tell and you can warn other people about it. Because what I keep telling people, and what a lot of those of us who are part of the new black media that's internet based. We have had sisters and brothers on YouTube talking about all of the racism behind a lot of the things that you see in this country, especially as it relates to politics and policy and social policy. It all leads back to racism, which is what I keep telling everybody. I would say, whites, I would say that, but they're always dinging me for that. So let's just stick with systemic racism. Again, everything that these people do in the dark always leads back to what? Systemic racism. Let me read this off, and that way you guys can that way we can knock this out in a way that's interesting. Okay? Because yeah, let me read this. Now there's on here, there's some bullet points, and I want to stick to these bullet points. Let me read this real quick. Jane Roe is an alias. Jane Roe it's an alias. For a man, they usually say John Doe. For a woman, they usually either say Jane Doe or Jane Roe. Jane Roe is really Norma McCorvey. Now, Norma McCorvey was this trailer trash Caucasian female. And she got pregnant. And I believe she lived either in Dallas, city of Dallas, or she lived in Dallas County. She lived in a town or a city or a suburban city that was adjacent to Dallas, but in the suburbs, but still within Dallas County. And we're talking about Dallas County, Texas. So anyway, Norma McCorvey was a sexually promiscuous woman who was a druggie and just was somebody who, let's just say this person, she wasn't what we call upper crust. Okay. Now, what she ended up doing, and I noticed this article doesn't, I may need to go to Wikipedia instead. Yeah, let me go to Wikipedia instead, because this article is this is like a bullet point. Now, she got pregnant and she was unmarried in 1969. And so she sought an abortion, and at the time, abortion was illegal in the state of Texas. You digs? And so what she did, so what happened is, let me go in here real quick, because this might give me, because I read this before, and let me put my glasses on. Let me put my eyes on. I'm sitting up here trying to read this. Let me just read this, because this gives you a better overview than me just committing to memory. In June 1969, 21-year-old Norma McCorvey discovered she was pregnant with her third child. She returned to Dallas, Texas. I knew, remember, it had to be Dallas or in that region, where friends advised her to assert falsely that I want you guys to hear this. Let me start this over, because this is very important. In June 1969, 21-year-old Norma McCorvey discovered she was pregnant with her third child. She returned to Dallas, Texas, where friends advised her to assert falsely that she had been gang raped by Black men in order to obtain a legal abortion, because Texas law allowed abortions in cases of rape and incest. This scheme would also fail because there was no police report documenting the alleged rape. In any case, the Texas statute allowed abortion only for the purpose of saving the life of the mother. She attempted to obtain an illegal abortion, but found that the unauthorized facility had been closed down by the police. Eventually, she was referred to attorneys Linda Coffey and Sarah Weddington. McCorvey would end up giving birth before the case was decided, and the child was put up for adoption. In 1970, Coffey and Weddington filed suit in the United States District Court for the Northern District of Texas on behalf of McCorvey under the alias of Jane Roe. Remember, I talked about that. The defendant in the case was Dallas County District Attorney Henry Wade, who represented the state of Texas. That's important. Remember that. McCorvey was no longer claiming her pregnancy was a result of rape, and later acknowledged that she had lied about being gang raped by Black men. Rape is not mentioned in the judicial opinions in the case. In June 1970, a 3-judge panel of the district court consisting of Northern District Court Texas Judge Sarah Hughes, William McLaughlin Taylor Jr., and Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals Judge Irving Loeb Goldman unanimously declared the Texas law unconstitutional, finding that it violated the right to privacy in the Ninth Amendment. Now, remember that. In addition, the court relied on Justice Arthur Goldberg's 1965 concurrence in Griswold versus Connecticut. The court, however, declined to grant an injunction against enforcement of the law. Roe v. Wade reached the Supreme Court on appeal in 1970. The justices delayed taking action on Roe and a closely related case, Doe v. Bolton, until they had decided Younger versus Harris, because they felt the appeals raised difficult questions on judicial jurisdiction. United States versus Vitch also considered the constitutionality of a District of Columbia statute that criminalized abortion except where the mother's life or health was endangered. In Vitch, the court narrowly upheld the statute, though in doing so, it treated abortion as a medical procedure and stated that physicians must be given room to determine what constitutes a danger to physical or mental health. The day after they announced their decision in Vitch, they voted to hear both Roe and Doe. Now I'm reading everything that needs to be read, and then I'm gonna go back and talk about it. Okay, let's get that popping. I'm just kind of going down, and I just want to talk about some things that I found to be disturbing, if you haven't already heard it. Supreme Court decision on January 22nd, 1973. The Supreme Court issued a 7-2 decision in favor of Roe that held that women in the United States have a fundamental right to choose whether or not to have abortions, and therefore struck down Texas's abortion ban as unconstitutional. Okay. So let's get into let's get into the meat of this. As you heard, Jane McCorvey, who was Jane Roe, lied on Black men saying that she was raped. And they the reason why the issue was this situation was considered to be a very important situation is because before, abortions were very limited. And also they realized that if, especially in this time of 1969, if she was gang raped by a bunch of black men, then we know that the Dallas Police Department, as well as the state police, would have been rounding up every black man in Dallas to find this rapist of this pure Christian white woman. You digs? So they knew she was that she had fabricated this story, which is why they denied her an abortion, because it wasn't it was not because of rape, and it wasn't because of incest. So the question you have to ask is, how did a case like this, that we know is a huge deal, not just then, but also today. So they had to lie to get and see. One thing they didn't tell you in the court transcripts, as this case moved its way up state and federal appellate courts, through the dockets on these courts, nobody told the truth. And so the Supreme Court, the reason why they went ahead and passed it is because they wanted white feminists wanted to be, they wanted to win, they wanted a W. And even if they had to lie and cheat to get it, and possibly put black men's lives at risk, they didn't care, because all they cared about was getting the Supreme Court to decide in their favor, because this case wasn't about black men raping white women. It was about the feminists, the white feminists wanting the ability to be sexually promiscuous. And what way helps you be promiscuous? Taking that birth control pill, taking the day after pill, the morning after pill, and then having an abortion at the outset. You see how that works? So now the reason why you got women out here that's so reckless is because they always know they got a safeguard. If they don't have the baby, they can get an abortion. If they have the baby, they can always get on public assistance. So it's a win-win. Yeah, they're going to be aggravated because they have no discipline and they're not going to discipline their children. But for the most part, they'll have a place to stay for 18 years. They'll have a place to stay, a place they can call home. It may not be exactly what they want. And who's to say that they're going to take care of it anyway? Which is why when you go to the projects, it looks the way it looks and smells the way it smells, because those people don't care how they live. And you can say, well, it ain't that simple, Ice. Yeah, it is. Look, let me tell you something. If somebody tells me to go rent an apartment, if I'm in Chicago and they tell me I got to go over there on State Street, where the project, these projects are very old. Go over there. These projects have been they were opened in the late 50s. If I had a choice to live in an apartment that smells like I could smell the urine from 2 blocks away, and then live in a decent, nice, clean apartment, which one you think I'm gonna move into? Or if I'm in an apartment that smells like urine, what's going to be my mindset going forward? Man, I got to get out of this pissy apartment. That's going to be the mindset going forward. So if you keep sitting there living in a urine infested apartment, or in a building that smells like urine and fecal matter because the plumbing's old and the pipes keep busting, you're going to do whatever you need to do so that you don't have to live in those conditions. And shame on you if you got your kids living in those kind of conditions. Shame on you. You need a swift kick. You digs? So they had to go to the racism playbook and lie on brothers as usual, because you have to understand, in this country, it's more coded today than it used to be. But back in the day, they used to be blatant with it. They used to be blatant with their feminist racism. Oh, these black men are going to be out here raping white women. Yeah, we need to protect these pure Christian white women. You could not even be paying attention to a white woman and she'll, oh my God, you're trying to touch me. Oh my God, look at that black guy. He keeps looking at me. He keeps undressing me with his black little eyes. They be telling themselves that, because you have to understand, in America, if you're non-black, you get rewarded for harming physically or emotionally harming black people. That's why you see some Asians and some Latinos get into that. Like somebody posted a video of these two young Asian chicks walking, and a black man's walking in the opposite direction going down the street, and they got all dramatic and tried to get all out of the way, and then they grabbed their purses and they would start joking, talking about, oh, we got to grab our purses, and just, I was just like, you got a lot of nerve. That's why I tell people, sometimes I might somewhat tolerate racism from Caucasians. Dude, I ain't taking no racism from nobody else. I ain't taking it from Caucasians, but I definitely ain't taking it from so-called minority. We're gonna be thumping. You can best believe that. We are going to be thumping. If you think you're gonna run that on me. So they had to go to the racism playbook and lie on brothers as usual. See, you have to understand about America. America has a very ugly history. America has a very ugly history of doing things to black people that obviously the average person would be like, how could you do that to these people? Well, look at who we dealing with. You digs? Look who you're dealing with. Look at who you're dealing with, and you wouldn't be surprised, would you? Let's keep it gangster. Let's keep it a buck. Everybody, please go over to where every live stream we fundraise. I know a lot of people don't always donate at every live stream, but let's get the donations up, guys. I know this is important information, but let's I only got about a month and a half, a little less than a month and a half to go before school starts. So I want to try to. So if I start being a lot more aggressive about fundraising, it's because I want to hit my goal. I try to hit my goal of what I try to bring in donations. So I'm not trying to be difficult here, but we are trying to take care of the community. You digs? So hit me on the Cash App. Please donate your $5 that way, or go to asktheiceman.com, scroll down to the donate button and hit us off there. And the number one reason why all of those appellate courts, including the Supreme Court, decided to find Texas law unconstitutional is because they wanted to send a message that we ain't gonna have black men raping white women, and if you do, white women, wink, 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 you can get an abortion. You see how that works? So they like, if we're gonna have Negroes running around here raping white, pure Christian white women, then we're gonna create a mechanism so that you get rid of that half black kid. You see where we're going with that? And this Norma McCorvey chick, her third kid was the father was black. So imagine in 1969, this Caucasian woman, and if you see a picture of this woman, clearly she is not attractive in any way. And the brother, he wasn't never his girlfriend. He wasn't never her boyfriend anyway. You got to understand, this Norma McCorvey was a druggie. And I guarantee whoever she was doing drugs with, this black guy, that's how she got pregnant. And obviously back then in 1969, she didn't want to have a black kid, so she put the kid up for adoption. But again, she lied and said that a gang of black men gang raped her. And the number one reason why all those appellate courts decided to uphold Roe v. Wade is because of the racial component attached to it, and the lie that was attached to it, that a black man or that black men raped her, and that's why she should be able to get an abortion. Y'all see how that works? Y'all see where I'm going with this? So now you see the racism involved in this case. And like I said, I'll tell you straight up, I had no idea that there was racism attached to this case. I had no idea. None. I had no idea racism was attached to this case. But here you go. Sad. Because if racism and lies weren't attached to this Roe v. Wade case, it would have got killed at the district court level. Because when that woman tried to sue Henry Wade, the the Dallas County prosecutor, because he wouldn't let her get an abortion. That's what got that case started. And then she went back years later and had a lawyer file a petition with the Supreme Court to have it overturned. And they said, no, it don't work like that. It doesn't work like that. She said, no, I lied. I didn't get gang raped by black men. I was mad that I wasn't able to have an abortion because I was impregnated by a black man. And back then in 1969, that was a total no-no. It's still a no-no today. But it really was a no-no back then. You digs? So you see how they get down? See how they get down? Remember what Richard Spencer said. I don't care about fairness. I care about winning. And if I have to lie and cheat to win or kill to win, then I will. See, the reason why black people struggle to get their footing in America is because you fail to take in account of the truth that these people are what they are. And you trying to twist the truth and twist reality and try to make this into something that it ain't. That's why we keep catching L's. And it ain't gonna change until we start being real about this situation. You see how they cheated and they lied and they connived to get Roe v. Wade passed. And as you can see, because they've been having a sexual promiscuity party since it was passed, and because we have Trump in there threatening to end welfare and other public assistance programs and only allow people who really need these programs to be on them, or only on there for a short period of time. They can't be on there for 18 years. Or they can't get on welfare in Texas. And then when that 5 years is up, then they can move. Then they want to sit up here and move to Minnesota and get on welfare up there. A lot of these women do stuff like that. They'll go move to another state just so they can get on welfare there. Have no intentions of taking care of themselves. They have no intentions of working anywhere. All they want to do is lay up with Ray Ray, Pookie, and Day Day, have babies, roll up blunts, smoke some L's, get pregnant, and then go down there with the birth certificate and the information, talk about I got another kid. And Trump is like, hold on, wait a minute. And just like I posted on the Iceman Show podcast Facebook page, that Trump is just stated yesterday, that they are going to haul off and try to do the best they can to get these 12 million illegal aliens out this country. And I say, somebody got to do it. Somebody got to do it. Because again, as you hear on the Iceman Show podcast and other podcasts alike, immigration is a threat to the survival and the labor of Black people in America, which means we, in the next 3 to 5 years, we need to dedicate ourselves to entrepreneurship and stop running out here trying to work for Hunky McGee. We gotta and we gotta stop that. We gotta stop trying to work for white mommy and white daddy. That ship has sailed. The days of you working down at the plant because your dad or your mom worked down at the plant, those days are over with. The day you look, black man, black woman, your children cannot inherit a job, but they can inherit a house that you pass on to them that you own, not one that you got 2 or 3 mortgages on either. Because some of these black folks will do that. They'll sit up there and go get take all kind of loans off the house, and then the mama died and the kids got, now they got to pay 2 mortgages instead of 1. Because mama done took a $50,000 loan off the house so she can go gamble at the Indian casino and give them all her hard-earned money. Black people do stuff like that. I got relatives that blew hundreds of thousands of dollars at casinos. I'm not lying to you. You read my lips, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they had to file for bankruptcy because they could not stop going to Vegas and going to the Indian casinos, throwing away all their money. How pathetic can you be? You're right. You're right, Last Crucible. Black people are very economically, politically, and socially naive. Black people have no idea what's going on out here, the sophistication of the stuff that's going on, the messiness that goes on behind the scenes. Because you believe everything you see on CNN, MSNBC, and in church. If the preacher didn't say it, you don't believe it. When I was growing up, you didn't question cops. You didn't question teachers. You didn't question clergy. You didn't question doctors and nurses. Okay? You didn't and if you didn't question adults. But then came along the Iceman. And you know how I roll. I have always been one to question authority. Just ask my parents. I got popped upside the head many a times by checking my parents on something. Because if something didn't make sense to me, I called you out. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I was just the human gaff machine. Okay? If you talk to any of my siblings, they'll tell you, oh man, that fool used to say all kind of crazy stuff and get dealt with. It's not that I didn't care, it's just that I was just being me. You dig? So when you look at Roe v. Wade and the racism behind it, this is how these people get down with everything they do. If you think the cheating scandal with all of these millionaire Caucasian folks who already are worth, some of them are worth 50 and 60 and $100 million. They can buy a university. They can start a university with that kind of money. And here they are cheating to get their children into USC and UCLA, Harvard, and Yale, and everywhere else. This hustle has been. They say the most egregious cheaters are Chinese nationals who got money, because they'll give Harvard $2 million and then they'll have a kid apply to Harvard. And if they don't get in, they see a lot of these schools don't want to turn down that money. So what they'll do is they'll just go ahead and accept that person because they don't want no mess. That's why a lot of times if you're a celebrity, you can easily get into Harvard or Yale somewhere. That's why you notice some of these actors, some of the ones that maybe they were child stars, they easily can get into Harvard or Yale, somewhere like that, UCLA, USC. Why? Because they got money and they're somewhat of a public figure. You dig? Let me read what Last Crucible just posted up. Black people only listen to two groups, Black females and white males, both of whom hate Black men. Yeah, exactly. See, in China, that's normal. Actually, bribing is normal in America. It used to be, back when I was a kid, everything was about smoking cigarettes, drinking, and slapping people on the back and getting deals done. And back when I was a kid, things were still real seedy. So it was what it was. But it was the norm. It was what you expected. You expected that griminess of the 1970s. Today, not so much. Back when I was a kid, it wasn't uncommon to see streetwalkers everywhere. In every city. In every city. Where are my Marines and Navy at? Where my Navy and Marine cats at? Now, if you stationed at Camp Pendleton, tell me I'm wrong. I don't know if they still have this, but hey, do they still have the track? You know what I'm talking about. Those of you who are stationed at Camp Pendleton, do they still have a track over there in Oceanside? Dude, I remember one time me and my ex went up to Camp Pendleton when I was still in the Air Force. And we went up there to the camp commissary and all of that. And then we went over there to Oceanside. And we drove over there and we saw all these prostitutes. And I was like, man, this looked like the track. I mean, they were just, and all you see was jarheads pulling up and them girls getting in the car. That's all you saw. I'm thinking probably in 2019, they done broke all that up. They done cleaned all that up. But back in them days, that was back in the that was like late 80s. So obviously that was 30 some years ago. Because I used to date somebody who lived in Oceanside, and when we used to drive through Oceanside, I never saw any of that. I didn't see any of that. I didn't see nobody walking around selling booty. I didn't see none of that. So they probably shut that down. But back then, they on the 1st and the 15th. All you see is a bunch of Marines over there, trying to get with them clap traps. See, the thing is, the Reverend Sharptons and the Reverend Jacksons, they're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to keep telling you every year, oh, we can't get nothing done. Oh, the Senate, oh, the House, it's just excuse after excuse. Just excuse after excuse. For what? For what? Just excuse after excuse. And you sitting there like, man, what is this about? What is this really about? Well, I'm going to tell you what it's really about. It's really about systemic racism. And what needs to transpire, ladies and gentlemen, is that we need to wake up and stop playing. Turning up is not important. And we need to continue to keep the pressure on the Democratic Party we want our tangible reparations, and we want you to cut that check. So if you ain't talking about cutting that check, you just playing with us. Like they're gonna sit up here and have Danny Glover testify in front of the subcommittee for HR 40, this bill that Sheila Jackson Lee proposed to study reparations. Keyword, study, not to give you anything. They're just going to study it. Like you really need to study this. You really need to study systemic racism and Jim Crow in apartheid up to 2019. That's still in effect, by the way. Really? You need to study that? And guess what? Like I told you with every bill that is passed by Congress has millions, if not billions of dollars attached to them. And you have these folks who have been able to, profit off of the purse strings of Congress with these racist bills. How you gonna sit up here and pass DACA, and you got we've been sitting here for 400 years. Where's our DACA at? Huh? Where's our DACA legislation? See, a lot of y'all don't get mad when you get screwed over like that. You don't get mad because you used to just bending over, pardon your butt cheeks. You so used to it. You like, hey, Iceman, what you talking about, man? Why you railing against, white zaddy and white mommy? I'm like, dude, instead of trying to eradicate white supremacy, you trying to find a way to live up in it and under it. And see, those are the folks, my brothers and sisters, we got to get out of the way. Because if you wonder, some people say, well, how has systemic racism lasted this long? Because of Black people who support it, Black people who want to live up under it, under the auspices of it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be trying to find a way to thwart stuff like this tangible reparations movement. They're trying to do everything they can to make sure, like I've heard Reverend Sharpton on his show talking like he has been a proponent of reparations for all these years. When have you seen Al Sharpton make a serious case for reparations? I'll wait. Who is Al Sharpton fooling? He ain't fooling me. And let me explain something to you. See, the Danny Glovers and these other fakes, these reverends out here that want to jump on the bandwagon of talking about getting tangible reparations for 2020. Let me explain something to you. These people want to have corporations and or Congress cut a blank check to them, and then they'll be the ones to implement the reparations money. See, that's what they want to have done. Obviously, we ain't gonna stand by idly by and let it happen. And we cannot allow any political candidate from either side get away with not discussing reparations. Somebody was saying last week that even Trump has been talking about reparations, and I don't know what he said, but if my memory serves me correctly, and I say this, I stand corrected, and I'm paraphrasing that. He said something about America does owe black people reparations. I'm not like I said, I ain't gonna confirm that, but I think he might have said something to that effect recently. I know he said something about reparations. I'm not sure exactly if that's what he said. That's why I say I'm paraphrasing. Y'all you dig? So they're always trying to pass a bill that's going to elevate another group above us. And it's high time that we black folks, we ADOS black folks, put an end to that. We need to keep the pressure on. Because let me explain something to you. Black people have a habit of starting something and not finishing it and not being consistent. We have been consistently inconsistent. We always will start something and then not see it through. Let me explain something to you. Black people, if you want power, you're going to have to see it through and you're going to have to maintain it. You can't go and fight for power and empowerment and then turn around and go back to turning up. See, black folks, you have to understand something. We've always had the turn up mentality, but it has really spread like a disease with the advent of single female headed households over the last 50 years. And we know mostly what type of children come out of those kinds of homes. Narcissists, selfish, narcissistic, greedy, nasty people. Not all the time, but most of the time. Because when you grow up in a household with a parent who can barely make a living, and we know women struggle a lot harder to make a living than we do. That's why a woman will go out here and work 2 or 3 waitress jobs and still not be able to pay and still have to sell a vagina out of each pant leg because those 3 jobs ain't paying nothing. You might have a good day and make $60, $70 in tips and then come back tomorrow and only make $5 in tips. How can you pay bills making that kind of money? And then, as a black man, when I go to a restaurant, it's a coin toss, 50-50 coin toss, that I'm going to get crappy service because of racism. That's why a lot of times I don't even go to a sit-down restaurant. I don't even go inside of dining restaurants, casual dining restaurants by myself sometimes, because I don't want to be made to feel like it's that I should accept poor performance from a server, and I should tolerate being mistreated, and I better tip because Missy Ann or Connor deserves a tip whether the service sucked or not. I don't know who these people think they are, but I ain't the one. Okay? You give me crappy service, I'm not tipping you. That's just the way it is. So if there's any non-black servers listening to this, looking at this live stream, black people are not cheap. We tip. We just don't tip people who show racism toward us and try to mistreat us, and we sitting up here patronizing your restaurant. You digs? So you can tell that lie all you want. I find that most Caucasians with money don't tip. I know black people who work in some of these capacities, and they like the worst customers are the upper middle class and upper class Caucasians. They'll sit up there and order $300 and $400 worth of food, and then give you a $10 tip. And this is at a 3, 4, 5-star restaurant, and they doing that. So that's one of the reasons why if you go to some of these upscale restaurants, they tell you up front that you're going to pay that $15 gratuity. They tell you up front you're going to pay it. That we're going to calculate it on top of what you paying for the food. Because in essence, you need to pay our workers. And you know, tipping comes from from slavery. Since we did all the service-oriented jobs, maybe the Caucasian people we served gave us a nickel. Maybe they gave us a quarter. And back then, that was a good amount of money. With a quarter, you can buy a whole meal with a quarter back then. When I was a kid, a little bag of Doritos cost 10 cents. A pack of Nihilators cost 10 cents. A candy bar costs 10 cents. I think a candy bar is like $1.50 now. In some places, at some places. So as you see, inflation has made it very difficult to live in America. Let me turn this light on. It's starting to get dark. I was gonna go make a run real quick, but I ain't gonna be able to run over there before 9 o'clock. So I'm just gonna keep packing. I'm gonna bring that truck over here and I'm gonna load it up with some more stuff because I want to have this play. I want to be out of here. First thing in the morning. You digs? Anyway, we have to become more sophisticated economically, politically, and socially, black folks. It has to be black first. Does that make you wrong? No, it makes you right. See, brothers, we know that a lot of black women want attention and validation from white daddy and white mommy. We know that. There's nothing you can do with those sisters. Let them try to swirl and follow intersectionality all the way down the rabbit hole. And as you see, while you got some black women who are still involved in cosplay and messing around white dudes and then getting called the N-word, you dating somebody and you letting them call you the N-word. But I guarantee if you dating a black man, you won't even, if he don't open the door for you, you going off on him. You cussing him out. Okay? Let's just keep it $1.50. There's nothing you can do with those types of black women, brothers. When you hear a black woman walk around here talking about intersectionality and LGBT and all of this, that, and the third, man, walk away. Because basically this is a black female who just wants attention from white daddy and white mommy. They don't want black empowerment. They want to be underneath the auspices of systemic racism, because that's where they feel comfortable. That's where they feel comfortable. While we're trying to get up under the thumb of systemic racism, they're trying to find a better way to live up under it. You see how that works? The reason why they keep trying to push homosexuality and LGBT lifestyle on black people is because they're trying to eradicate the warrior class. They don't want no more Tupacs. They don't want no more Biggies. They don't want no more NWAs. They don't want no more Lady of Rage. They don't see, you have to understand something. The rap game back in the 90s, when I was strong in the entertainment industry, it was all about masculinity. It was all about, yeah, I'm a man. This how we get down. Sisters didn't act a fool back then, bruh. They either got on with us, or they lived out on the margins and was ignored. See, back then there was a price to pay to talk about intersectionality and LGBT and swirling. You didn't talk that mess back in the 90s. You didn't talk that mess in the 80s. See, Obama's presidency ushered in this false notion of we living in a post-racial society and intersectionality. You never heard none of that. You didn't hear nothing about no interracial dating until almost the mid 2000s. And then when Obama got in there, all people lost their mind. Black folks lost their mind because they thought that was a sign that things were getting ready to change. And let me tell you something, the number one reason why, not just because Obama is a black man, but the number one reason why you don't see Obama's face. You don't see him out here campaigning for Crazy Joe. And the reason why is because he knows he is very unpopular with black people right now. Also, Biden is not popular with blacks under 40 and 45. See, a lot of young blacks voted for Obama. And so white people, number one reason why white people are mad at Obama is because Obama did not bring jobs. He did not bring jobs. And see, all of the Obama sympathizers say, well, he saved GM and he saved Ford. So what? If it wasn't him, it would have been somebody else. So That wasn't no big deal. Why didn't he bail us out? Look at this student loan situation. Student loans is a crisis. And the reason why Bernie Sanders, the reason why people like AOC and Bernie Sanders gets a lot of play and a lot of attention is because a lot of these young Caucasians, especially particularly the ones that are coming out of college with all this student loan debt, those radical socialist programs, such as possibly paying off people's student loans, that's popular to them, and rightfully so. So they're going to listen to Bernie Sanders. The problem is Caucasians my age and older are not going to vote for Bernie Sanders. They're going to vote for if they are going to vote for a Democrat, they'd vote for Biden because they know him. But you notice we went from death row. We went to, from Daz and Corrupt and Biggie and Ron C and the Ghetto Boys and NWA and Dre and Cube. We went from that to all of rapper, to Drake. Not saying not taking nothing away from Drake. Some of his stuff I like. I wouldn't buy it, but some of his music ain't bad. If it's on the radio, I'll listen to it. It ain't bad, but it ain't necessarily the kind of music I listen to. But you notice the rappers today are either foreigners or when I mean foreigners, they're from another country. Drake, Canadian. Nicki Minaj or Nicki Garbage, Trinidadian. And all the other rappers like the Lil Waynes and some of these other cats, they talking about Scissorp and Lean, and that's what the companies want to put out there because they're trying to dissipate or decrease that warrior energy, particularly amongst Black men. Because remember back in the 90s, Black men were getting it in, especially on the West Coast, especially NorCal and Southern Cal brothers. It was on and cracking. Cats was down the ride back then. See, today we got a bunch of skinny jean wearing feminine dudes out here. Do you really see? And so if you push the LGBT homosexual agenda off on Black people, particularly Black men, then you don't have Black men out here protecting anything. They're not there to protect Black women. I'm not saying that homosexuality is the only reason why Black men are not protecting Black women from getting the brakes beat off of them by these non-Black other Americans, but that's part of the reason. Push a homosexual agenda and guys will be more worried. If you notice, a lot of Black people, males and females, are particularly attach themselves to feminism or LGBT politics. It's one or the other. But it's never anything dealing with Black people. It's never this. It's always this, or they want to get on a platform of some non-Black person and try to get some cooperation that way. And we always get rejected. That's why I get tired of people always, the black folks will be like, oh, we're gonna have this panel on black entrepreneurship, and then you'll look up there, they got 4 black men and women sitting there, and then they got one Hispanic, or they got a white woman standing up there. And I'm like, why can't we have our own stuff? Why we always gotta add this person in and that person, so it doesn't, so we, now we got to watch what we say because we got this person up in here that don't look like us. That gets on my nerves, man. When you look at Univision and all these other Spanish language channels, you don't see no black folks on their channels, on their programs. You don't see no black folk. They don't celebrate African people in Latino culture. So why are you giving them a seat at the table when we barely have one? And when I mean a seat at the table, I'm talking about handling our own business, black entrepreneurship. If we have a black entrepreneurship event, I'm not gonna, if I'm the one promoting it, I'm not gonna sit up here and go to La Raza and say, hey man, why don't you send some of your compadres over here? No, I'm gonna be like, this is black only. And I don't care if you don't like it. I'm not ashamed to be who I am. So a lot of you guys are ashamed to be black. And that hurts us. You destroy the energy, the positive black energy that black folks do have. You destroy it with well, what about LGBT? Well, what about Hispanics? What about the Black and Brown Alliance? There is no Black and Brown Alliance. It's just us. These other people don't want to have nothing to do with you, and you shouldn't want to have nothing to do with them. But black folks are so needy. We're so needy acting. We're always trying to build some kind of coalition with somebody because we don't want to take care of our own business. See, we got to sit around talking about swirling and intersectionality and LGBT. See, we sit around co-opting these other issues because we feel ashamed of being black. See, I ain't ashamed. See, you have to understand something. Whenever I have people go to either one of my Facebook pages and they see all these mixed race women, or they see Caucasian women, or they see what is characterized as a Hispanic person, the first thing especially black women, the first thing they say to me is, you don't seem like the type who's about black empowerment because you got all these non-black women, all these ex-girlfriends on your pages. And you know what my response to them is? Just because I'm dating somebody of another race, when I get up out of the bed and I reach for my Nikes, I still keep it black. Just like when they get out of bed with me, they still keeping it Mexican, or they still keeping it Caucasian. You understand what I'm saying? See, very few black men can do that. I'm not saying I'm special. What I'm saying is I don't get it twisted. You're not going to catch me slipping. I don't care about being buddies and friends with other races of people. Does that mean I'm against them? No. But I'm black first And I will tell you to your white face or your pale face that it's black first. And I don't tell these women that any of that stuff. They just figure it out after a while. They're like, oh, you just, they make little comments. They start making comments. They start using passive aggressive gaslighting. Or other little tricks. Because they're not going to come right out and say anything. See, guys that came out of my generation, we were the ones, the Vietnam vets on down to guys my age. So you got to understand something. I only missed Vietnam by a few years. Okay? I only missed Vietnam by a few years. Okay? So the cats that went to Vietnam aren't that much older than I am. So when those guys came back, they were the ones who were joining the Black Panthers and doing and fighting back. They were the brothers and sisters who were out there in the streets getting it in with the racist police and all the other establishment people who were trying to keep black folks in their place. They were the ones who were out here getting it in. It was my parents' generation that was like, oh, y'all messing it up. That Dr. King, that rebel rouser, he messing it up for everybody. See, that's what you got from them, although some of them folks was about that life too. I know my mom kept it gangster. My mom didn't play that racism. I used to see my mom go off on white folks all day, every day. And it was funny as hell. That's why I don't I let some stuff pass, especially if I'm so mad. I'm about ready to lay hands on you. Okay? If I'm that mad, I won't say or do anything. I'll just walk away because I don't want to end up doing something and ending up in jail. Because you can't be laying hands on some of these Caucasians. Sometimes even when they deserve it. You digs? But a lot of y'all can't slip the pipe in and still keep it 100. A lot of you guys can't do that. If you get in bed with a non-black person, you think they're doing you a favor. You got black women around here who think some Hispanic dude or some Caucasian dude that knocked them up and got them pregnant did them a favor. That's a come up for them. But to somebody like me or you, we like, you're sick. You hate yourself. Everybody, I'm going to take a break. If you haven't donated yet, this is the time for you to do so. Hit us on the Cash App. My Cash App ID is $ the Iceman 1906. Or you can go to asktheiceman.com, scroll down to the donate button and donate there. Look, guys, we're looking mighty light. Those of you who do not ever donate, you need to donate. You need to be a man and you need to participate. I don't expect people to donate every time, but there are people who donate and then there are people who never donate. And that's not fair to the people who donate. You understand me? I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back at you. Keep it locked right here. The Iceman Show podcast. Be back. I'm going to holler at you. There's some air in here. All right, we back. Remember, I was telling y'all about that elk that I bought. Man, I finally ate that today. Man, that elk meat is good. It's real clean. It's real clean. It's real clean like buffalo meat, like bison meat. Have you guys ever had bison? It's a real clean, lean type of meat. It doesn't have the fattiness that cows have. It's a real lean meat. And it tastes good. Actually, it tastes now, don't get me wrong, bison meat is excellent. As a matter of fact, that's the only kind of beef I can eat that doesn't make me sick. When I eat beef from cows, sometimes I get the bubble guts. But when I ate that elk earlier, nothing. Stomach didn't get sick, nothing. Didn't feel like I didn't get the itis. You know how you get the itis after you eat them ribs? Didn't get the itis either. Yep, didn't get the itis. But they keep pushing a LGBT homosexual lifestyle because they want to. First of all, it's a distraction, and when black folks they know you're starving for acceptance. You're starving for attention and acceptance, and they know this. And because of that, they'll try to act like, oh, black people, the liberal type of Caucasians will say, they'll be like, oh, we hang out. Oh, I don't have a problem with having black friends. Or I don't have a problem with this, or I don't have a problem with that. But in actuality, they do, especially if you don't agree with them or if you ain't on the same nonsense they're on. And all of a sudden, they want to invite you to lunch at work. As soon as you don't agree with them, you'll see how much they care about you. You'll see. That's why when you see black men and women hanging around a bunch of non-black people, you notice they tolerate a lot of crap. And that's their fault. They tolerate a lot of crap. But you know what? You brought that on yourself. You brought it on yourself. You brought that on yourself, player. Real talk. But they're trying to, you see it like the kind of man that I am, which is I'm a no nonsense, fun loving man who is unapologetically black first. I have no problems letting you know that. When I meet Caucasian people or people of other races, I make it clear you ain't talking to Clarence Thomas. Because they will check to see if you Clarence Thomas or Oprah. And I'm neither one of them. So, very few of them want to hang out with me. Some of them do. Some of them be like, hey man, let's come to a barbecue at my house. I'm like, man, I ain't finna be around no bunch of y'all. I don't want to be in that environment. But they impose homosexuality on black people so we won't have no more Tupacs. We don't want black men who are going to question white authority. We don't want them kind of black men roaming around here. See, they don't want no Snoop Dogs and Dr. Dre's, and they don't want them kind of black dudes. They want Drakes. They want Migos. They want guys talking about Molly and all this other stuff. Being drunk and high all the time. They want you to do that. They don't want you talking about pulling your strap out and getting at one of these race soldiers. They don't want that. They want you talking about B's and H's. You see? Y'all see where I'm going with this? So they push the homosexual agenda on us because we're in a powerless situation anyway. And most of us will take attention and acceptance from non-black people winning where we can get it. And unfortunately, brothers and sisters, those kinds of black men and women are the ones who help keep white supremacy or systemic racism alive and well. You want to know how that happens? Well, ask them. It's because of them. It's because of the types of individuals like the lot of these reverends out here, especially these so-called reverends who call themselves civil rights leaders. See, they love guys like that because they know at the end of the day, these guys just want some money. They know them reverends, as long as they can get them maybe a position in their administration, or if during the campaign phase they go out there and try to get somebody to vote for them, then who do they send out here? The black reverends. Because you have to understand the reason why. See, they've been pulling this stuff since slavery. See, during slavery, the black man, the black preacher, because he couldn't read, the massa would read the Bible to him, and he would tell the reverend, the slave, what to preach to the black slaves about. You understand? So they've been doing this since slavery, getting trustees to keep black folks in line. And what better person to elevate to that status is the black ministers. That's why they still do that. Whenever these politicians run for office, what do? They find reverends. Trump did it, and Hillary did it in the last presidential election. Neither one of them was serious about doing anything tangible for black people. They just wanted to get some quick votes. You dig? So what I'm trying to explain to you guys is this. We need warriors. We need black men. We need black men warriors who raise warriors that know how to use them hands, and they know how to shoot. One thing I'm noticing, when I saw an article online that said a lot of black people are buying guns. And I see a lot of brothers on Facebook in pictures with their ARs and their AK-47s and their 9mm and their Glocks. It's a lot of brothers getting strapped. You understand? Because something major is going to pop off. Like I said in the last Iceman Show podcast about waking that sleeping giant. Who you think that sleeping giant is? That sleeping giant is you, black man. And if they can get you distracted on LGBT rights and equality and all this other nonsense that's a non sequitur, they know you won't worry about protecting anything. You ain't gonna be thinking about protecting your children. You ain't gonna be thinking about protecting the black women who deserve to be protected. They know you ain't gonna be thinking like that. You're gonna be thinking about LGBT. Or you're gonna be thinking about equality. What's that? Well, we want equal pay and we want equal this. You know what? You ain't gonna never get that under a system of white supremacy. So why are we talking about it? Why are we wasting time talking about equality? Any black person walking around talking about we need equality is a fool. You live under a system of white supremacy. You ain't never gonna be equal. And if you waste your life fighting for equality, you're gonna end up dying an old maid or an old man and still being unequal. So why are you worrying about something like that is ridiculous? What you need to be doing is fighting to eradicate the system of white supremacy and nothing else. And stop running every time you get faced with a challenge. The reason why we have a lot of black men who are afraid to fight is because you're coming out of these homes with women with no man in sight. There's no intact families of black males and black females in the home. So this is why we have the situations that we have today, where you got more black men out here worried about LGBT rights and skinny jeans and sagging than they do being a man. And it's going to continue to get worse until we realize that we need to be black first, not just because Trump's in there. We should have been black first under Obama. We have to get off this, if we got some friends out here mentality. We have no friends. And I keep saying that over and over and over again. There is no black and brown alliance. When you start talking about black things that are the issues that face black folks, just leave it to us. Leave it and keep the subject on us. Stop saying, well, black and brown children face this and this and that. Who cares about brown children? We only care about us. And we don't care if that scares white folks, because you know what? They don't like you anyway. And they're not scared of you. They just use that as an excuse to harm you. They're not scared. That's just an act. That's why I don't provide no safe haven for old non-black women who think that because they getting rejected by their own men, now they're gonna decide to answer to their racist sexual urges that's been plaguing them all this time, and being that they wasted time with somebody of their race and that person didn't treat them right. Now I'm gonna date black men, but with conditions. Yet this woman is a 4 or barely a 5, talking about I only date black men under certain conditions. Well, let me tell you something. I don't date no woman of any race based on conditions. You digs? Hey, you guys, let's get these donations up. Hit me on the hit us on the Cash App at $ the Iceman, $ the Iceman 1906, or at asktheiceman.com. Scroll down to the donate button and donate there. But it is just like with Black men supporting, or Black people in general and Black men specifically supporting any type of business that directly helps us. Brothers don't show up. Brothers don't show up. They don't support it. If it ain't got nothing to do with chasing tail or drinking alcohol or doing drugs, brothers won't spend their money on nothing positive. And then we'll sit up here and be complaining about jobs. Well, your job gets spent every time you spend money at a white establishment. There goes your job. Or the job of the next guy up. You almost totally destroy any chance of a job when we spend 97% of our money outside of the Black neighborhoods. You have to understand something. These East Indians, these Asians, and definitely Caucasians get rich off of us, and they live the high life off our money. And then they call us the N-word. But you'll still go over there even after that Asian salon or beauty supply owner has beat the brakes off of your auntie. You'll still go over there tomorrow and get a lace front and a bundle of Hawaiian silky. You'll still go right back over there and patronize them. Why? And there's a Black woman across the street that got a salon, but she's like, I ain't helping her. I ain't helping her send her child to college. I ain't helping her live a good life. I ain't helping her buy a Louis Vuitton bag. That's your mentality. I almost have to shut the show down on the Player Circle show on Saturdays because guys don't donate. I can go to PayPal right now. Only one person donated. One. That's Black male support right there for you. One person donated. Why do I have to ask you? Why do I have to ask you? Why? It's just like, I'll give you an example. This is how Black men think. I'll give you an example. I remember one time I had this life coaching client, and I gave him a homework assignment. And I told him, I said, yo, homie, here's your homework for the week. I need you to talk to them a minimum of 2 women this week. And so what he would do is he would barely do the bare minimum of what I asked him to do. And so one time we had a session, and he tried to act like because he had done the homework that he deserved a pat on the back. And I said to him, dude, you did the bare minimum. As much help as you need, you should have talked to at least 5 or 6 women. And he was like, yeah, I see what you mean. you doing the bare minimum, and that's only because I that's the homework assignment that was presented to you. You see what I'm saying? Why you got see black people, you got to understand something. If you gonna go out here and waste your money on Manolos and Louis Vuitton and Coach and all this other non-black owned stuff, don't get mad when your company lays you off or fires you or downsizes you and you're not able to find another job in white corporate America. What are you going to do then? And see, you're the number one person who is out here trying to figuratively poke your finger in the eyes of black men and women like myself who are trying to push the type of agenda that you should be on. But you're quick to say, hey man, you a troublemaker. You causing trouble for us. You quick to say something coonish like that. Yo, you always talking about, black this and black that, blackity this and blackity that. Well, that's because you ain't. That's because you ain't doing it. You ain't doing nothing but sitting on your hands and expecting some other black man to do your job. That's your mentality. And that's why we struggle in America. And it looks like it's nearly impossible to eradicate white supremacy in this country. Because we got black folks who are more worried about Pride Month than they are about taking care of the economics and the politics and the social order of black folks in the black diaspora, not just here in America, but worldwide. See, you ain't serious. See, I'm serious about this. Yeah, I might joke around. I might talk crazy every now and then for comic relief. But at the end of the day, I'm still serious about what's going on with us. I'm dead serious. That I do not play. I'm not playing. This is serious business to me. It may not be to you, but it is to me. Now, if you want to sit up here and keep playing around and acting like there's and out here joking around and acting like an idiot, go ahead. Go ahead and be an idiot. But you're going to do that on your time. You ain't going to do it on mine. You're not going to do it on mine, player. Real talk. You ain't going to do it on my time. Because I want to organize all the black men and women who are serious as a heart attack. And if you're just here to play and you think we can have a coalition with all these other people, dude, I'm sorry. You need to go over here by yourself, because I'm not with it. I'm not trying to help nobody else. I'm only trying to help my people. And if you got a problem with me helping my people, something's wrong with you, because you ought to be black first, just like me. But instead, you expect another black man to do your work for you. Oh, somebody else will take care of it. That's your mentality. It's just like with these donations. People will donate, and then you'll be sitting there like, well, because such and such donated, I don't have to. You ain't a man. That's why you didn't donate. Let's just keep it a buck. If I was Richard Spencer, you would have donated $50. See, let me explain something to you. Mainstream television is is dying a fast death. Okay? And that's why CBS, NBC, and ABC are out here buying up all these cables channels, because they're not making any, the revenue, the prime time revenue is not there anymore. It used to be back in the 80s, everybody sat in front of the TV and watched the Cosby Show. Everybody sat in front of the TV and watched Different World. That's just the way it was. Today, things are different. Today, things are different. You digs? Let me turn this other light on. We as black men have to man up. We got to man up. Okay? Right now, black men cannot depend on each other. If we all were sitting here in one room, as long as we're talking about Caucasian women, or we're talking about non-black women, or we're talking about some scheme somebody got going, some caper somebody got going, the conversation is great. We're talking about some booty you got last week. The conversation's great. Scroll up to the top on the chat room. Keep pressing. My Instagram is at the Iceman Show. At the Iceman Show. As soon as somebody comes into the conversation and says, hey man, what about eradicating white supremacy? Soon as one of the brothers say that, all of a sudden you got this brother over here like, oh man, I gotta go, man. I gotta go to work tomorrow. This brother over here, he talking about, oh man, I gotta go to the bathroom. All of a sudden, everybody's leaving. Nobody wants to talk about man issues. Why? Because black men have gotten so used to being treated like a boy that most of us want no responsibility beyond just going to the plant or going to the office. Most of us can barely function beyond that. And then you wonder why your kids are unsuccessful. Man, I paid for my kid to go to college and So the reason why he's not successful is because you're not successful. And you didn't give him any tools for success. Unlike the Caucasian man is. He's setting his kids up for success while you setting your kids up to hopefully for Mr. Charlie to offer your kid a job. Well, son, when you graduate from high school, you come on down there at the plant and work with me. Mr. Jim said he'll hire you. Are you serious? Black folks, we gotta do better, man. If you haven't subscribed to my channel on YouTube, my channel on YouTube is Mad Voodoo Man. I says highly suggest you subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And when you subscribe to it, hit the bell. That way you get notified that I'm on the air. You digs? Also, follow me on Twitter at The Iceman Show. Follow me on Instagram at The Iceman Show. Go to my website, asktheiceman.com, if you are in need of life coaching. If you've gone through a divorce, you've had a breakup, you about to have a job, you gotta have a career change. You're thinking about going back to school. Well, thinking about going to grad school, thinking about changing careers, holla at me. Okay? I run a research-based life coaching program. Basically, when I say research, that means I research what is the best thing out there for you. If you tell me, hey, Ice, I'm thinking about changing careers, you know what I'm going to do after you hire me? Before we have our session, I'm going to do my homework and do research on that career field. And when we have our session, I'm going to talk to you about all the information that I found that is pertinent to your situation. And everybody gets that treatment, not just this person or that person. Everybody that hires me gets my 100% attention to detail. Okay. So what I do is research based. It's research based. Okay. If you're thinking about changing your career, so let's just say to mechanical engineering, well, I'm going to go do my due diligence and research and have that information for you, and give it to you when we have our session. If you're thinking about starting a business and you need a business plan, go to asktheiceman.com and holler at me. Don't suffer in silence. There are honest Black men and women out there like myself. If you pay me to do a service, I will do that service. I haven't had any complaints yet. Understand? Because I don't take people's money and not deliver. I deliver and then some. You digs? If you haven't donated yet, hit us on the Cash App, $ the Iceman 1906, or you can go to asktheiceman.com, scroll down to the donate button. Those of you who want me to send you a link to Saturday's broadcast, donate donate, and then I'll send you the link. Okay, it's only fair. Those folks who donated, they can watch it as many times as they want. But if you haven't donated, don't send me an email talking about how come you can't view the live stream. Well, it's set to private. That's why. I want to thank everybody that donated today. I want to thank everybody that decided to be in the place with the Iceman. We're doing part 4 of When Will Simping and Tricking End. We did part 3 Saturday. So the next time we have the Player Circle podcast, we're doing part 4. Understand? Okay, you dig it? Well, if you subscribe to the Mad Voodoo Man channel on YouTube, you don't have to worry about meeting me there, because you're going to end up beating me there. Can you dig it? You tuned into the Iceman Show. I'm your host, the Iceman. Holler at your boy.